Hi everyone. Thanks for being here. And for those of you who don't know me already, my name is Duyên, and I am responsible for the first part of our presentation. And as you can see on the screen, our topic today is TPR, Total Physical Response. So this presentation is contributed by all of the members, including Phương Thảo, Ngọc Linh, Anh Hư, Kim Ngọc, and me. And Ngọc Linh is our leader. First of all, I would like to give you an overview of TBR method. Then, we will put the method into the demonstration. Maybe that mean that put the method into practice. And from this, we will begin by making a few observations about the reviewer's demonstration. Next, we would like to review the principle and introduce some techniques. Finally, we love to briefly highlight main points and have an activity for you to review. So first, let me give you a brief overview. And the comprehension approach is the name of a general approach to the foreign language instruction. And in the 1960s and in 1970s, research gave a rise of hypothesis that language learning should start first with understanding and later proceed in introduction. After the learner interna- internalize an extensive map of how the target language works, speaking will appear spontaneously. So, for example, a baby spends many months listening to the people around it long before it ever says the word, and no one tells the baby that it must speak. He chooses to speak when it is ready to do so. And there are several methods being practiced today for the foreign language instruction. One such method is catching and tell natural approach. In this method, the teacher will help her student to understand her by using pictures and occasional words in the student native language. Another method in comprehension approach is a witness and read self-instructional program. And the witness the learnables. The students are asked to respond in some way, such as pointing to the pictures. That means they will show that they are understand, but they don't speak. And a new method called the lexical approach, which is developed by Michael Lewis, and it is less concerned with student production and more concerned that students receive abundant comprehensible input. Students are given exercise and activity which raise their awareness about lexical features of the target language. And the last one is James Archer's total physical response. This is the method to see how the principle of the comprehension approach are put in practice. And on this research, the least stressful way to achieve understanding of any target language is to follow the direction uttered by the instructor. And in our presentation, we would like to report on TPR, which is presented by a professor of psychology at Central State University of Cali. And he developed the TPR method as a result of his observation of the language development of young children. So let's take a closer look at this method. Uh, Most of the interactions that young children experience with parents and other adults combined with verbal and physical aspects. And the child responds physically to the speech of the parents, and the parents reinforce the child's response through the further speech. And from this, Dr. Asher came up the explanation that many teachers use the method that were not used while learning the first language. And there is often found stress in the second language learning environment. And therefore, based on his research cited above, Asher reasoned that the fastest, least stressful way to achieve understanding of any target language is to follow directions authored by instructor, and of course with our native language translation. So to put it simply, our total physical response is an approach to teaching a second language based on listening linked to physical activity and which are designed to reinforce comprehension. And in TPR, instructors, that means teacher give commands to student in the target language, and the student will respond with the whole body actions. Using TPR is to reduce student inhibitions and lower their affective, like stress. Although it can be used with although it can be used with students of all language and all age groups. It is popular with beginning students, or maybe it is really popular with beginning students and young learners than the others. So next part is belong to Ngọc Linh, and thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, I'm Lynn and I present the part experience. Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon, teacher.
Good afternoon, teacher.
How are you today?
I'm good.
I'm fine.
How about
Good.
you?
I'm good, thank you. Đây là buổi học đầu tiên trong năm của chúng ta, cho nên cô sẽ giới thiệu phương pháp mà chúng ta sẽ dùng để học môn tiếng Anh này nha. Thì đó là các em sẽ học tiếng Anh giống như cái cách mà các em học tiếng Việt. Các em ban đầu sẽ không cần phải nói tiếng Anh mà chỉ cần lắng nghe và làm theo những gì cô bảo. Cô sẽ dùng tiếng Anh để đưa ra yêu cầu và các em sẽ hành động theo cô ha. Rõ chưa cả lớp?
Dạ rõ.
Yes.
Rõ ha. Bây giờ thì cô cần 2 bạn để giúp cô bắt đầu bài học hôm nay nha. Có bạn nào xung phong không?
Em.
Thôi.
Okay, so Tuyền and Thảo. Còn các bạn khác thì mình cùng lắng nghe và quan sát nha. Now, let's begin. Okay. Stand up. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Stand up. Sit down. Very good. Now, stand up. Turn around. Yes. Turn around. Sit down. Stand up. Turn around. Turn around. Sit down. Stand up. Turn around. Yeah. Turn around. Sit down. stand up. Okay, walk, stop, turn around, jump. Good. Walk, stop, turn around, walk, stop, jump, turn around. Now walk, stop, jump, turn around, walk, stop, jump, turn around, walk, stop, jump, turn around, sit down. Good job. Now, quicker. Stand up, sit down. Stand up, turn around, jump, turn around, walk, stop, jump, turn around, walk, stop, jump, turn around, sit down. Good job. And now again, walk, stand up. Now stand up. Yeah, sit down. Stand up. Yeah, walk, stop. Yeah, turn around, jump, walk, stop, jump. Yeah, turn around, sit down. Very good. Let me see. Now, only one volunteer. Thảo, stand up. Good. Sit down. Stand up. Yeah. Jump. Stop. Yes. Walk. Stop. Turn around. Jump. Walk. Stop. Turn around. Sit down. Great. Let's see. Ngọc, stand up. Hello, Ngọc.
I'm here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Wait a
stand
minute. Okay.
Yeah. Sit down. Stand up. Turn around. Jump. Turn around. Jump. Walk. Stop. Turn around. Walk. Stop. Sit down. Good job. Next, two volunteers, Thảo and Tuyền, stand up. Follow me. Point to the desk. Yeah. Point to the chair. Okay. Point to the desk. Walk to the desk. Yeah. Walk to the chair. Good. Point to the desk. Point to the chair. Walk to the desk. Touch the desk. Point to the chair. Walk to the chair. Touch the chair. Now, point to the desk. Walk to the desk. Touch the desk. Point to the chair. Walk to the chair. Touch the chair. Okay, so Touch the desk. Yeah. Touch the chair. Walk to the desk. Walk to the chair. Point to the desk. Point to the chair. Touch the desk. Touch the chair. Good job. And now again. Walk to the desk. Good. Walk to the chair. Touch the chair. Yeah. Point to the desk. Walk to the desk. Touch the desk. Yeah. Turn around. Walk. Stop. Yeah. Turn around. Sit down. Very good. Let's see. Gal, stand up. Hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. Sit down. Stand up. Jump. Good. Point to the chair. Yeah. Walk to the chair. Touch the chair. Point to the desk. Touch the desk. Yeah. Turn around. Turn around. Jump. Stop. Yes. Sit down. Very good. Now, two volunteers, Thảo and Tuyền, stand up. Jump to the desk. Oh yes, jump to the desk. Okay. And walk to the chair. Yeah. Sit on the chair. Correct. Now stand up. Walk to the desk and touch the desk. Very good. Now sit down, please. Thank you. Now open the notebook and write down. Yeah. 1. Stand up. 2. Sit down. 3. Walk. 4. Stop. 5. Turn around. 6. Jump. 7. Point to the desk. 8. Point to the chair. 9. Walk to the desk. 10. Walk to the chair. 11. Touch the desk. 12. Touch the chair. Yeah, okay. That is the end of our lesson today. Remember to practice it at home. Về nhà các em nhớ luyện tập lại nha. Goodbye class.
Goodbye, teacher.
Goodbye, teacher.
A few weeks later, we will hear a different voice. One of the students is speaking English.
Now, raise your hands. Show me your hands. Close your eyes. Put your hands behind you. Okay, open your eyes.
The student is directing the other students and the teacher with these commands. They are not saying anything, they are just following the student's orders. Well, that's it from me, and my other groupmate will continue to present. Thanks for your attention.
Okay. Hello, teacher and everyone. Hope you guys on the best thing. My name is Phương Thảo, and I will continue with my parts, thinking about the appearance. Now, let's move on. The first observation. The teacher gives a command in the target language and performs the action with the student. Yeah, it seems like the teacher like a model who copies something. Yeah, about the principle, the first meaning in the target language can often be conveyed through action. Actually, the teacher used body language action to describe the target language to student, and we can deny that the use of body language is useful way in teaching. In the class, the student attention can be attracted and the teaching quality can be improved if teacher use properly. They will have teacher express their own ideas and thoughts accurately and lively. Let's move on to the second. Memory is activated through learner response, beginning foreign language instruction through arrest the right hemisphere of the brain, the parts which control nonverbal behavior. Yeah, moreover, each time students respond to the teacher command, a certain number of neurons are activated. Then when the commands is repeated, the same neuron respond again, and the more time the repeat an action, the more results in greater memory storage and recall efficiency. The third is the target language should be presented in chunks, not just word by word. And you know the term chunks group of words that can be found together in language, such as sit down, stand up, onto the desk. Yeah. Okay. Now have a look at picture. The teacher is using body language to demonstrate how to student and later when mentioned to the how maybe the student memorize what teacher did. Okay. And the second observation is the student say nothing. The principle is the student understanding of the target language should be developed before speaking. Yes, students say nothing, just imitating, copy the way the teacher act out. Okay. The third one is the teacher gives the commands quite quickly. The principle is that student can initially learn one part of the language rapidly by moving their body. Okay. The next one is the teacher sits down and issue commands to the volunteer, and the teacher can know whether student can understand the commands by performing them alone. And the principle is about the imperative is a powerful linguistic device through which the teacher can direct student behavior. As you know, the term imperative also means a command. It is giving maybe orders or commands or instructions to one person or a group of people, for example, like single words or multi-word strings. Yeah, yeah. And the next one, the teacher directs students other than the volunteers. Principle is student can learn through observing action as well as by performing the action themselves. So maybe the other student also have an opportunity or train to demonstrate their understanding, not through the volunteers. Yeah. The sixth observation is the teacher introduces new commands after three is ratified that the first six have been mastered. Yeah, the teacher repeats commands several times so student can all remember perfectly. About the principle is it is very important that students feel successful. Feelings of success and low anxiety facilitate learning. Yeah, like feeling pursued longer, maybe produce higher quality efforts, learn more deeply, or perform better in classes. Yeah. So the next one is the next observation is the teacher changes the order of the commands, and the principle is students should not be made to memorize this routine. Routine. This routine is maybe usual or a fixed way of doing something, and the student have to listen carefully to the teacher's commands and then acting out. Okay, let's move on the next one. When the student make an error, the teacher repeats the command while acting it out. Correct the student errors directly and immediately to have them remember their mistake. About the principle, that is, correction should be carried out in an obstructive manner. The students should avoid behave rudely because maybe the student can feel active and they don't want to learn anymore. Yeah. The next one is the teacher give the student commands they have not heard before. About the principle is the first one is student must develop flexibility in understanding novel combination of target languages, and they need to understand more than the exact sentence used in training, and so novelty is also motivating. Okay. The next one is the teachers say, turn to the desk. So everyone laugh. The principle is language learning is more effective when it is fun. Having fun make language learning interactive or excited in learning target language. They are more energy or dynamic. And so learners will stay curious and keep coming back for more. Yeah. And the 11th observation is the teacher writes the new commands on the board. Uh, about the principle is spoken language should be emphasized over written language. However, the student have to copy commands into their book because they also need to learn how to read and write. Okay. The next one is a few weeks later, a student who has not spoken before gives commands, and about the principle is students will begin to speak when they are ready. They use the target language naturally in communication. Yeah. And the last observation is a student say, shake hand with your neighbor, and uh, about the principle, students are expected to make errors when they first beginning speaking. Oh, as you know that the term maybe yes, erode reflects gap in learner knowledge. They occur because the learner do not know what is correct. So the teacher will correct mistake that students don't know. Later, they are more pay attention to error they have made. There is a classic saying, maybe I love it, you learn from your mistake. The next one is teachers should be tolerant of them. Work on the fine details of the language should be postponed until students have become somewhat proficient. Yeah, whatever way you go about correcting your student, trying to keep appearance positive for the learner, listening out for student errors, and you make sure that also listen out for really good use of language and highlight this through the class too. Yeah. So that's the end of my part. Let's move on my teammate presentation. Thank you for listening.
Okay, hello everyone. Hello teacher. Uh, Now I will continue our group presentation. I am responsible for reviewing the principle of TPR. Now let's take a look of an overview of my part. We are going to discuss some main points um, in the principle of TPR to make you understand more about TPR. So the first one is about the teacher goals. Um, the second one is the role of the teachers as well as the student. The next one is about the teaching and learning process. The next one is about classroom interaction. The next one is about student feelings. For the number six, it's about the language and culture view. The next one is about language focus. The next one is about role of native language in classroom. And the next one is evaluation. And the last one is about teachers respond to student errors. So let's goes on. The first part is about teachers goal. The teacher who use TPR, they believe in the significance of having their students enjoy their experience of learning to communicate in another language. Um, and TPR was developed to have to reduce the stress while people are studying other languages, so that we can encourage our students to continue their study beyond a beginning level of proficiency. And how can we do this? Uh, how can we do this? The way to do this is to base foreign language learning upon the way children learn their native language. Move to the next part is about the role of the teachers and students. At first, the teacher is the director of own student behavior. The students are imitators of her nonverbal model. Like in our demonstration, you can see that the teacher performs some action and the student simply do what the teacher performed, like stand up, sit down, walk, and so on. And at some point, usually often 10 to 20 hours of instruction, some student will be ready to speak. And at that point, um, there will be a role reversal, which means the student will become a director. For example, in our demonstration, a few weeks later, Tuyền asked me to perform some action like open my eyes, close my eyes, show my hand, and so on. Move to the next part is about some characteristic of teaching and learning process. In the first phase, the teacher issues command to a few students, then perform the action with them. And in the second phase, the same student demonstrate the commands by performing by performing them along to show their understanding. And next, the teacher recombines elements of the command to have students develop flexibility in understanding unfamiliar utterances. These commands, which students perform, are often humorous. Like in our demonstration, we have the phrase "jump to the desk." Tuyên and Thảo were so confused, they hesitated to do this, which make our class laugh. And after learning to respond to some oral commands, the student learn to read and write them. Yeah, they write the vocabulary in their notebooks. And after students begin speaking, activities expand to include skits and games. To the next part, classroom interaction. Yeah. Teacher interacts with the whole group of students and with individual students. Initially, the interaction is characterized by the teacher speaking and the student responding non-verbally. After that, the student become more verbal and the teacher responding non-verbally. The students perform the action together, and they can learn by watching, by observing each other. And when students begin to speak, they issue command to one another as well as the teacher, which means at that point there is a role reversal. The teacher, the student will become a director. Yeah, move on to the next part. It's about the feelings of students. TPR was developed to reduce the stress while people studying other languages. One of the primary ways this is accomplished is to permit learners to speak when they are ready. Forcing them to speak before then can make them become more anxious. And also, when students begin to speak, perfection should not be expected. And another way to relieve anxiety is to make language learning as enjoyable as possible by using some like Zenny commands or humorous skits to make students find learning language can be fun. And finally, um, feelings of success and low anxiety facilitate learning. Move to the next part. It's about how is the language viewed and how is the culture viewed. Just as with the acquisition of the native language, the oral modality is primary. And the culture is the lifestyle of people who speak the language natively. The next part is about language focus. What language areas and language skills are we going to emphasize? Vocabulary and grammatical structure are focused on over other language areas. These are embedded within imperative, and the imperatives can be single words and multi-word chunks. Like in our demonstration, we have stand up, sit down, walk, stop, point to the desk, point to the chair, touch the chair, and so on. And understanding the spoken word should be understanding the spoken word should precede its production. The spoken language is emphasized over the written language. So let's go on the next part. The role of the student native language. In our demonstration, at first, the teacher used Vietnamese to introduce to the student the method that she is going to use to teach them. And TPR So TPR is usually introduced in the student native language. After that, the native language would be rarely used, and the meaning is made clear through body movements. And the next part is about how can we evaluate students. The teacher will know whether or not students understand by observing their action. Formal evaluation can be conducted by commanding students to perform a series of actions. And when students become more advanced, their performance of skills they have created can become the basis for evaluation. And the last part is about how does the teacher respond to student errors. Teachers should be tolerant of them and only correct major errors when students first begin speaking. We have mentioned in principle number 5, when students do begin speaking, perfection shouldn't be expected, because it is expected that students can make a mistake when they first speaking. And when students get more advanced, teacher can fine-tune, correct more minor errors, which means teacher is going to correct even the smallest errors to have their student work as well as possible. So that's the end of my part. Hope you guys can hope that my information will be useful for you. Thank you for listening. Now, my friends, Minh Chu and Thu will continue our group presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Andrew, and now I will continue our group presentation with this part, reviewing the techniques. And in TPR, we have 3 techniques. The first one is using commands to direct behaviors. The second is role reversal, and the last one is action sequence. And let's move on to the first technique and also the main technique of this method, using commands to direct behavior. The use of commands is a major teaching technique of TPR. The commands are given to get students perform an action, and the action makes the meaning of the command clear. It means that the teacher uh, model the action and perform the teacher model the commands and perform the corresponding action to make the meaning clear. And then students fulfill the commands by action-based drill with the teacher or individually or in groups. And since the action suggests that we should keep the pace lively, so it's necessary for a teacher to plan in advance which command he or she will introduce in a lesson. If the teacher tries to think them up in the lesson progress, it will be too slow, or the lesson will a little bit boring for the student. And the teacher should vary the sequence of the commands. Uh, Teachers should vary the sequence of the commands so that students do not simply just memorize. The students will not simply memorize the action sequence without connecting that action with the language. It means that there should be no exact repetition of the same sequence, and the teacher should each time vary the routine to avoid the memorization of the fixed sequence of behavior. And the command should be funny and humorous to make the learning process enjoyable. And there to stay in this technique at first to clarify meaning. The teacher performs the action with student, and then uh, and then the teacher directs student along. The student action tell the teacher whether they understand the commands or not. And there are 2 points that we should pay attention to in this technique. The first one is the student feeling of successful. It is suggested that the teacher shouldn't introduce new commands too fast. It is recommended that uh, the teacher should give 3 commands at a time. After students feel success with these commands, it means that they understand and can perform them correctly. So 3 more can be taught. And another point is, some people wonder that how much of a language can be taught through the use of imperative. Azure, Azure I should suggest that all grammar features can be communicated through imperative and vocabulary also. And let's move to the next technique, role reversal. Asher said that students will want to speak after 10 or 20 hours of instructor, although some students may take longer. Students, and when they are ready to speak, students command their teacher and classmates to perform some actions, as you can see in our demonstrations. Students should not be encouraged to speak until they are ready. And the last technique is action sequence, or you can call it operation. The In our demonstration, the teacher gives the connected commands like point to the chair, walk to the chair, and touch the chair. And as the student learn more and more about the target language, a longer series of connected commands can be given, which together comprise a whole procedure. Many everyday activities can be broken down into an action sequence that students can be asked to perform. For example, with the action writing a letter, we can broken it down into 9 commands. The first one, take out a pen. The second, take out a piece of paper. The third, write a letter. The fourth, fold the letter. The fifth, put it in an envelope. The sixth, seal the envelope. The seventh, write the address on the envelope. The eighth, put a stamp on the envelope. And the last command is mail the letter. And this is the end of the reviewing technique part. And next, let's move on to the conclusion part of our presentation.
Um, okay, well, in conclusion, I would like to give you some main points about this method. First of all, is about the merits and the defects of this method. And of course, as you see it in the demonstration, it's really fun and easy for students to follow. However, if you were the shy student, who you may find it's very embarrassing to do several activities. And furthermore, it do not require a great deal of preparation on the part of teacher, and it's also inclusive. It is also inclusive and works well with a class with a mixed level. Besides, it is only really suitable for beginner levels, and which means that it may become an issue for teachers at the higher level. And well, the action may have the student to build connection in the brain, which help them to build a vocabulary. On the other hand, the students are not generally given opportunity to express their own thought in a creative manner. Furthermore, it is involved learner in the situation language use, and it is a good instructional practice in the learner's silent period. On the other side, this method may limit teacher in terms of scope of language that can be expressed, and uh, and if you so this is the main point of total physical response. And the meaning of total physical response is one of the teaching methods that emphasize active learning through the actions. And there are three basic steps for students. First of all, is listen to the teacher's command, and then they watch the teacher how to do it. The last one is they need to imitate repeatedly some several actions from teacher's command. And if you want to intensive comprehend TBR, you can ask yourself, firstly, would you use the imperative to present the grammatical structures and vocabulary of the target language? Second, do you believe it is possible to teach all grammatical features through the imperative? And the last one, would you want to adapt any of technique of TBR to your teaching situation? That some main questions. And if you want to ask more, you can find it in the handout.
And before we finish our presentation, we have two questions related to this lesson. The first one, Asher believes that additional language instruction can and should be modeled on native language acquisition. What are some characteristics of his method that are similar to the way children acquire the native language? Can anyone answer this question? Anyone volunteers? Okay, so if you don't have the answer, our group answer is the first one is unconscious process of language acquisition. It means that at the first, you just listen to the target language and just you can choose the time you want to speak. And the second is respond physically to their parents' speech and able to obey long before able to produce the first word and sentence. And the second question is one of the principles of TPR is that when student anxiety is low, language learning is enhanced. How does this method lower student anxiety? Can anyone answer?
I think it makes learning enjoyable with humorous actions.
Yes, your answer is correct. Thank you. And yes, we can lower the student anxiety by many comments and humorous skits. This means we make the learning and teaching process as enjoyable as possible. And this is the end of our group presentation. Thank you for your listening.